right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Happy Monday, or whatever day you're watching this. Um, this week, we are going to continue looking at the state and local government. And Ms. Fitz and I thought that it'd be fitting that we kind of learn about how the federal government and the state and local governments interact in a way, and what their responsibilities are for dealing with any type of situation. And this particular situation is something is very relevant and something that we're all dealing with right now, and at least know a little bit about, and that is the COVID-19 crisis. Who are the decision makers? Who are the people that decide whether we go to school or not? Who are the people that decide, what medical equipment go where? This is obviously it's very relevant for us, and it's something that we're dealing with and living with. And we, as you'll see in the reading, we are the stakeholders. We are among the stakeholders, the people that are affected by the decisions that the people that we elect or that are chosen make. All right, so that's the lesson for this week, is to kind of to look at the COVID crisis from that lens of who are the people that actually that make these extremely important decisions. Obviously something like shutting down schools for the year, it's an extremely important move that was made. Um, I personally would say it's the right move to make. As sad as I am that we don't get to be together, it was the right call. All right, but not an easy call to make. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through this right here. All right, so this week, as Ms. Fitz wrote up, we're looking at how state and local government have been working together to deal with all things that are COVID-19. All right, typically this would be something that this is an iCivics activity, and this would be if we were in class, a cutting and pasting thing. That's probably the trickiest thing about this week, is that obviously we can't be cutting and pasting, but we have for you a little thing that you can cut and paste electronically, and that's probably going to be the trickiest part. So if through the course of this little tutorial, if you still have no idea what you're doing, make sure that you tune in Wednesday at 11. Ms. Fitz will be on Google Meet, and she'll walk you through anything that you're still confused about. All right, so let's just take a look at the assignment here. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned. Here we go. As of 7:43 this morning, we have a couple people that have already turned them in. I'm going to look at it. All right, well, it's here. All right, so once you click on it, this is what you'll get. You're each going to get a copy of this. All right, so if we look up top here, all right, so you're going to do a little bit of reading, and then you're going to answer some questions on the first activity is going to be cutting and pasting, and then you're going to answer just a few questions at the end. And if you're tuning in, I'll actually read this to you right now so that you don't have to worry about this. So, combating COVID-19, the coronavirus is a respiratory virus that is transmitted through droplets produced when a person who is infected coughs or sneezes. Obviously, this is why we all wear masks. That's why it's required when you're out in public at this point to wear a mask. A person infected with the coronavirus has the disease known as COVID-19. CO for corona, VI for virus, D for disease, 19 for 2019, the year that it was the first known case. Scientists and medical experts are still learning about the disease, but it has been seen to be potentially fatal for people over 60 and people with pre-existing medical conditions, although we do see even kids with it. People of all ages can become infected with coronavirus and exhibit symptoms of COVID-19 or spread the disease. The World Health, and we've seen a lot about these guys, the World Health Organization, otherwise known as the WHO, labeled the coronavirus disease a pandemic because of how rapidly this disease has spread across the world and its risk for severe and even fatal symptoms. President Trump declared a national emergency on March 13th, 2020, in order to combat the spread of coronavirus in the United States. The main effort has been around ordering social or physical distancing so that there is less opportunity for the virus to spread. Other efforts include supporting health care providers, educating the public, you guys, and the general public, and developing response plans. All right. So there's the second part of it. States teamed up. Because so many issues are bigger than one single state, states often partner with federal government as well as other states to tackle big problems. Child nutrition, assistance for low-income citizens, emergency responses to natural disasters, and infectious diseases research and support are just a few issues that usually require federal, state, and even local governments to work together. In many cases, the federal government may provide money and guidance, while states and local governments provide additional money as well as the boots on the ground to carry out the program. State governments also partner with local governments as well as individuals, businesses, and groups known as stakeholders, which I referred to earlier, who have an interest or are affected by particular actions a state may take. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of what they're battling. I mean, obviously, it's a huge problem that we're dealing with now, economically, uh, emotionally. Obviously, the fatality. These are all things that they have to think about, and any decision that the president makes. Um, he's not here, or in some cases it's this whole situation is a great example of that 10th amendment, where you have certain powers that the federal government have, there are certain powers that the states have, and how does that interact, like where is that line? And oftentimes in cases like this, it's kind of intertwined, right? So the president makes decisions or the governor makes decisions, and they all work collaboratively. Sometimes they don't, oftentimes they do. All right, so to your activity. All right, so get me back here. What you're going to do, all right, is there are on this page here, okay, these are all real world, these are real things that happen, all right, that are happening right now, that are issues that, whether it's the governor or it's the local government, different stakeholders, that they have to make these tough decisions that they have to make in response to this particular crisis. All right, so what you're going to do, is you're going to look at, you got slide 7, 8, 9, 10 here. Okay, these are all the different things or people that are making these decisions that you see on slide 6. Okay, so what you're going to do, all right, let's look at something like state executive branch. All right, so you're going to look here, okay, on slide 6, and you're going to look at it and say, what decisions do I think that it's the governor makes in these situations? All right, so one easy one that you should be able to pick out. Let's look here. If you see like school closures, right? Obviously, we waited on bated breath for the government to make that decision, and maybe not you. I certainly did. All right. So what you're going to do here is you're going to copy, or this one's the public one. Okay. So let's see if I can skip to this one. Oh, I already did this. All right. So what you'll do is you will copy from here, okay, and then you'll paste it here. What I trialed yesterday. This is the main copy. So you guys all have copies of the copy. Um, So what I did and what I think is it's probably easier for you guys to do is just straight out, cut it, and then paste it. All right. So if you look at what I did here with state and local, state government here. I messed that up. What did I do? Nonetheless, all right. So you would trials and tribulations here, right? So you would cut this out, all right, school closures, and you would paste it here, okay? And then something like, here's another one. Let's see, public space closures. All right, here's another one that is left up to, even though local law enforcement are supposed to enforce these decisions. It's the governor that was the one that's restricting access to public libraries, parks, restaurants. I can't wait to go to a restaurant again. That's the governor's call, right, to make that happen. So this one would also be in the executive branch because obviously, as you guys all learned last week, the governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, is the chief executive of the executive branch of our state. That's his call. And today, this week, we're going to see, starting today, hopefully, if all things are looking up, we're going to start phase one of opening back up. We'll see what that looks like. All things could change. Obviously, this whole situation is extremely fluid, and Governor Baker has never worked as hard as he is right now. I am sure. Trying to figure out a way to safely open the state back up, and obviously Trump doing the same thing with the country. It's not an easy situation. It's not an easy decision, but it's one that they have to make. All right. So I'll give you a little cheat sheet here. If you haven't already started working on this, I know it's still early. With the CDC, there should be 4. All right. 4 of these that should fit in here. State and local should have 6. 6. State Department of Health should have 4. And County Department of Health should have 4. All right. So of the 18, you have 6 for the state executive and then 4 for the rest. Okay. Just try your best with that. Obviously, we understand that it's you're guessing here, but there should be just think about like who would obviously the things that don't deal with health are probably going to go with state executive because the other ones are all dealing with particular health situations, whether it's local. All right, remember, like the people that are local are the ones that are on the ground, the boots on the ground that are actually doing the things. Then when you're done with that, you have 2 questions that you answer here on 11, and then 2 more here, and that's it. That's it for the week. Okay, so you got a little cutting and pasting to do. You got 4 questions to do. Do a good job, guys. So far, I know this is tough for everyone, and for the most part, people are doing a really good job. If you are still confused by this, again, tune in Wednesday at 11 to see Miss Fitz, or you guys know that we're always here for you. Always here to respond to emails. If you want a Zoom or a Google Meet earlier, I can certainly set something up. I get nothing but time. All right, guys. So that's it for this week. Hit us up if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. Miss you guys. Do, 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 do.